Hi guys, welcome back to Sim UK and Fernbus Coach Simulator. Today we're going to continue with our southeastern tour of Germany. So I've got the mic set up slightly differently today, so I'm hoping that's going to improve audio. You might have the adverse effect and make things worse, but we won't know until until I start editing. So we're at Efurt today. Incidentally, this is where TML Studios are located. I was expecting to see a TML Studios banner or a building with their logo on or something like that, but despite keeping my eyes open, I didn't spot anything of the sort, which is interesting. So today's route is from Erfurt all the way down to Nurnburg, and it's just a single road almost. Pretty easy going. It's the longest of all the routes that we have, I believe. Maybe Augsburg to Constance is equally comparable, but it's kind of a bit more twisty-turny. This is very much straightforward, just straight down. I don't know what route this is. Could even be a B road. Doesn't seem to be any numbers on it. Oh yeah, B road number 2 and 85. And then onto the 4. So pretty much all the way down the 85 and then finish up on the 4. Now, glad I did that because I want to stop and get some fuel today because that will unlock an achievement, and I don't think I've done it before. And we are due for a rest here, so I'm going to try and tie both of those things together and get that done. So for today's route, we are going to change the repaint to this. Now, for those of you who have been with Sim UK for quite some time, you might remember a way back when I had a catastrophic hard drive failure and lost all of my repaints. Thankfully, I had backed them up just a week or two before, a few weeks before, but did it in such a nonchalant way that I completely forgot that A, that I'd done it, and B, where I'd put them. So eventually I found the majority of my repaints, and all was good. But in the interim, a good and long-standing viewer, Craig Pruden, in fact, I was hesitating whether or not to say his name. I don't know if he wants to be known or not, but he put his name in the author tag. So yeah, I mean, he was kind enough to put this repaint together for me at a time when I didn't have any. And I was a bit stressed out because I was going to have to try and recover all of them, and it was going to be a nightmare. So Craig, my humble and heartfelt appreciation goes out to you. This was done quite a while ago, and inadvertently I lost it. But I have since recovered it, and today this is what we're going to be using. And I actually really quite like it. It very much is about promoting Sim UK, which is something perhaps I don't do very often these days. I know a lot of YouTubers drive around in their own coaches, and I used to have one with my logo on, but now I kind of seem to have switched over to the traditional repaint styling. But anyway, that's by the by. I can see here that I need to tidy up my own logo a tad. That's a bit messy, a bit mucky. But that's something we'll get to in due course. We've still got a website to build. So, yeah, let's get things into priority perspective, I guess. Right, so this is what we're using today, and let's get going. I'm loving this tour around the world kind of... I was going to say entourage, but I know that's not the right word. Do you know what I mean? Collage. That's what I was trying to say. Collage. Entourage. You pillock. Yeah. I mean, that's really fantastic. And I'm thinking already about such times when Fernbus has multiple countries. And we could just do, go from London across to Italy. We could do a massive tour. That would be brilliant. Very much looking forward to that. Right. Let's get on board. We've already got the passengers on. That's not an issue. Hello, passengers. She's happy. Right. That door shut. And just check where we are. 13:57. We're due to leave here at 14:04, so we can leave a couple of minutes early. Go and get some fuel and tick that little successor off. In half an hour we're meant to take a break, but I'm going to take it a bit early. I'm going to try and take it whilst we're in the petrol station. Now I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but we're going to have a go. And whilst we're here, yes, I could start the ride. Aha, take a break. It's there, the button lives. It lives! Sorry. Whilst we're here, just keep your eyes open for any kind of... Oh, look, we're going to have to set everything up again. This doth irritate me.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei FlixBus. Wir freuen uns, dass ihr an Bord seid und wir gemeinsam unser heutiges Reiseziel ansteuern. Bevor wir richtig in Fahrt kommen, hier ein paar Hinweise. Auch bei
I mean, we got plenty of fuel. The fuel never seems to go down. I think there was a discussion at TML that they were going to reduce it, reduce its effectiveness so that it you run out of fuel more often. But it seems like that hasn't been implemented yet.
Unser Reisetipp fürs Internet? Schaut doch mal auf unserer Facebook-Page vorbei. Unser Team freut sich riesig über eure Likes und Nachrichten. Sollte euer Akku zu Neige gehen, kein Problem. Viele unserer Sitze sind mit Steckdosen ausgestattet und entsprechend gekennzeichnet. So könnt ihr euer Smartphone die gesamte Fahrt über nutzen. Wenn ihr eure nächste Fahrt auch gleich mobil buchen wollt, holt euch einfach unsere App und profitiert von exklusiven Online-Angeboten.
I didn't indicate there to pull away. That was jolly naughty of me. I feel a bit fingers and thumbs at the moment, which is weird. Won't take long to warm up.
Wir danken für eure Aufmerksamkeit und wünschen eine entspannte Fahrt und viel Spaß an Bord bei FlixBus. Hello and welcome to FlixBus. We're glad to have you on board and that we can get you to your favorite destination today. Before we set off, we would like to share some information about the journey. The wearing of seatbelts is compulsory on board the bus. Therefore, please keep your seatbelt throughout the entire journey. In the seat pocket in front
For such a long time, seatbelts were not compulsory, and it's just a ridiculous oversight, really.
If you would like to browse the
hello, logo. If you've ever seen
Wi-Fi network. If your battery runs out, no problem. Many of us
just reset my
with power outlets which are marked accordingly. If you would like to book your next journey,
if you've ever seen a bus crash, it's horrendous. Back in the days when you didn't have to wear seatbelts, it's got kids and people flying over the seat. Outrageous. For some reason, my head tracking reset button is not working.
We're always striving to improve our service.
Try and do it myself.
Use the questionnaire we send you by email to give us feedback about your journey. You can also use it to share your suggestions, ideas and requests. We are always ready to assist. And now, we can finally set off. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a relaxing journey and enjoy traveling with FlixBus.
I curbed it again. That's twice already. I did say on fingers and thumbs. I haven't settled into the coach yet for some reason. I do feel like my head tracking is a bit low. I want it up there, but like I say, my reset button doesn't seem to be working. Ah, right, I know where I am now. I know where the petrol station is. There we go. Working now. Working now. Now, I had a look at the petrol station there on the way in, and I think in order to get into it, I'm going to have to come... Well, actually no, I'm not sure. As I drove past, I was trying to see if there was a way in from this side, but I just couldn't see anything. We'll have a go. We'll do our best. I can say no more than that. So guys, once I've completed the... Oh, do you know what? I felt like TML Studios were going to be over there somewhere. See, now look, there doesn't appear to be a way in. The curb is not lowered, do you see? So, I feel like we need to go round or something. There doesn't appear to be a way into this petrol station, which is a bit of a bugger, because now we're going to get moaned at for going off-road. But there's not much I can do. I'm just going to have to go up the curb. Damn. Okay. Damn. These cars would just flipping appear, wouldn't they? I was going to turn right and try and come down the other side. Oh, that is close. Yeah, we're going to hit that. If I'd have continued, we'd have definitely hit that. Alright, going up the curb. Very gently so as not to annoy the passengers. TML, Efurt, your hometown. There's a problem here, guys. Right. We're in. Vehicle off-road. God damn it. I tried so hard not to get that. Right. How do I refuel then? I've never done this actually. Oh! This is kind of cool. That's it. Not much. Excellent. Job done. We refueled. You used to be able to get out and do it manually, and I much preferred that. But it seems you can't do that now. Now let's see if we can get off the coach and take a break here whilst we're here.
Entschuldigung, wo sind wir hier eigentlich?
Yeah, that worked. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, good. So we've got 22 passengers on board. Let's go and make sure everybody's on board before we leave. Hey, madam. Madam. Gentlemen. Madam. Sir. So yeah, once I've finished the southeastern tour of Germany, then I will most definitely be doing a beginner's guide to setting up Fernbus, getting all your buttons right, highlighting the most important features. Look, it looks. I'm worried now that because they keep saying that we're off road, that they're going to be docking us points every time they say it. So I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible now. 20, 22. Checked. Now we just got to get... Whoa! Now we just got to get going. Alright. Well, that's cool. That's something I wanted to do, and there's the achievement popped up as well. So I'm happy-ish. Next. For a minute there, I couldn't start the flipping bus. That was a bit worrying. Okay, good to go. We're in gear. Handbrake off. Now we just got to find a gap to get out, and we're back on track. Steering misbehaviour as well. I felt it actually in the wheel as we came down. The rear end kind of clunked rather violently. That's a shame. Well, you know, what can I do? I was only trying to get some fuel. I did it as gently as I could. We are now leaving Efurt. So incidentally, the repaint I've got today is from Craig, and I really appreciate you putting that together, Craig. It's been a long time. Taken a long time for me to actually get to use it, but yeah, I really like it actually, and you produced it at a time when I was having a real issue, so many thanks for that. And incidentally, Craig is also I forget his official title. I think he might be an MD or general manager or something of the Euro Truck Simulator 2 VTC that have joined, and yeah, no, VTCs have been out for a long time, but if you don't know what a VTC is, it's a virtual trucking company, and basically there's about, I don't know how many guys in total. I'm going to say 3, 4, I think 5, somewhere between 5 and 7 guys have started up Thornton Logistics VTC. Now, it's totally free. These guys don't make any money off the back of it. They're doing this off their own back, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort for them, and they go to great lengths to try and make the game feel more realistic than it currently is. And I've got to say, I've only been driving for a week now, but they're doing a fantastic job of achieving that. Just being part of the VTC and having sort of requirements placed against your location, and you know, you're having a truck that doesn't technically belong to you, although the save profile is in your game and you can of course do whatever you want with it. There's a nice thumbnail. But yeah, I might take a thumbnail. I remember the button, which I can't. Okay, just opened all the doors. That was not what I meant to do. Okay, we're good. Handbrake off and away we go. So, yeah, having those sort of restrictions placed against you, having real life people to have to go and speak to, like I don't know if you saw my first episode on ETS2 VTC last week, I think it was, but I was in the wrong truck. Turns out that the right truck was there, but that I'd been set up in the wrong one. Or gets a bit complicated. But anyway, I went and spoke to the guys. In fact, I didn't even have to go and speak to the guys because they watched that first video, and yeah, they sorted it all out. it was brilliant. The way they dealt with it, absolutely fantastic. So now I have the correct truck at the correct weight, and we're good to go again. Really good, really interesting, and it really does. It adds a little something to the game, in my humble opinion. Now, what would be nice is if, for example, you could start at rank 1. What they do is they build a profile, and the profile has lots of money. It has lots of trucks already, which they have pre-designed and pre-built and pre-spec'd to have the correct VTC repaint and what have you, which is the only way you can really do it. But what would be fantastic is if you could start at rank 1, or 0, rank 0. They give you a truck to use that you have to return to a specific place for a specific day. The money that you earn doesn't go into your profile, but it goes into their profile. Then they pay you out of that money. Something like that. That would be really nice if that were possible. But it isn't, unfortunately, in Euro Truck Sim 2. But just having that business element added to the game not only increases the level of realism, plus they're a nice bunch of guys. It's a joy to go and speak to them and say hi and just chat about inane rubbish, really, pretty much like you would at any sort of trucking company. So yeah, it really does add a little something, I think. And although they're going for high level of realism, and there are rules and regulations in place, and they do expect you to behave accordingly as if you were driving a real truck in real life, which again is great. But they're not they're not taking it so seriously that they think it's real life. So it's good. They don't get all het up about things. People make mistakes. It's not a big deal. They deal with it professionally, fairly, funly. It's great. I really like it. Having that additional business element to the game really, really does add something. For me. Not for everybody. I grant you that. I mean, I have... again, if you've been watching Sim UK a lot, you'll see that I've been playing a lot of Sail Away, and I'm a massive fan of Sail Away. And it's having... I asked the question the other week about whether or not we need to have that same kind of business model, an economy system, a survival system, or a combination of those things, or a variation of those things. And it was brought to my attention that although there are a lot of very dedicated, authentic sim fans, there is actually, unbeknownst to me until recently, there is quite a variation in how much they want ultimate realism, like having an economy system. A lot of people are actually anti that, which did surprise me, I've got to say. I'd have thought that would be a great feature for people. Buying and selling boats is kind of part and parcel of being a sailor, in my humble opinion. That thrill of having purchased a new boat. But no, that's not the case, and that's not me being derogatory. That's just the reality of it. Some people just want the sailing experience without all the mechanical failures and financial restrictions that come with real life sailing, which is fine. And it's an important point to note. I guess I was being a tad ignorant or naive, or whatever you want to say, that not everybody wants ultimate realism in the same way that I do. They want it to be ultimately realistic. They want the sailing experience to be 100% as real as it can be, but without all the added negative infringing elements that come with real life sailing. Whereas I'm a whole hog guy. I want the whole thing. I want it to be really hard. I don't want it to be too easy. You know, if I sail across the Atlantic, run out of food and water, I want to die. Well, I don't want to die, but, you know, I want to be fined heavily to be towed back to shore or something like that. You know, if heavy ass winds come in and I don't reef my mainsail, I want that mainsail broken. I want the mast broken. I want to lose some lines. But that's just me. And not everybody's like that. And that's absolutely fine. But I am an ultimate realism guy. I want the full 9 yards or 10 yards or 12 yards or 15 yards or however many yards are required to make it as complex and as realistic as possible. And not everybody agrees with me. And that's fine. OMSI is a good example. OMSI to date is the most realistic bus, not international coach like this. I think Fernbus has that title sewn up, if you ask me. But for sort of local bus driving, which is a totally different experience, I think OMSI 2 is the absolute most realistic, and a large part of the realism that that game has is the audio. You know, I've been playing sim games for a long time, and when I first started playing, I knew there was a little wibbly bit coming up there. I could feel it in my bones. When I first started playing, it was evident. People used to mention, "Oh God, through the red light." Oh, I didn't get done for that. Well, that's interesting. That's unexpected. I should have known that was coming as well. I wasn't paying enough attention. Blast. Anyway, now I've forgotten what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, there. People used to bang on about the audio, how good the audio was. And I used to kind of dismiss the audio and think, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter if the graphics are good and the handling is good, then it doesn't matter about the audio. The audio isn't important. Actually, OMSI 2 is a perfect example of how important the audio is and how immersive the audio is. But yeah, OMSI has its problems. It's not. The UI is abysmal. The stability is a joke. The graphics are dated. The land mass expanse is minuscule. I mean, there are a lot of negatives that you can throw at OMSI 2, yet still people absolutely love the game because it is the most authentic and realistic feeling bus sim that's out there, and I'm exactly like that. What is going on over there? A bit of dogging maybe. So what is fantastic is that since the OMSI 2 add-on, the bus company has been added, it's given that management element to OMSI. And much like ETS2 and the VTC that I've joined, that really transforms the game. That feels so completely different, so much better, so much more realistic, so much more engaging. It's fantastic. I couldn't imagine playing OMSI 2 now without the company add-on. I just don't see why I ever would want to. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to the point where I can start my own multiplayer company, and then you guys, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to come and join us and you know, work for the company. And you know, I said before that I think you can have up to 5 people in total, or 6 people including myself, I think is the maximum amount. And yeah, you just sort of contribute 20,000 each. So I want to do it properly. I want to work for another company, which I'm doing at the moment. If you haven't seen that, go check out my OMSI videos. But I want to work my way up through the ranks. I want to do the training that needs to be done in order to be able to open a company. I want to be able to learn OMSI. I mean, there's an awful lot about OMSI that I don't yet know. Last week's video was the first time a tile hasn't loaded in a game, and that's incredibly infuriating, but it's the first time I've experienced it, whereas everybody's like, yeah, it's just OMSI, happens all the time. But that is a massive failure. That is an epic failure. Look at this drop off here. Wow, this is a nice bit.
Ist das Tempolimit hier echt so hoch?
Speeding. I didn't see a speed limit. Whoops. So, this hasn't been the best run. I haven't been the best driver on this run, which is a shame. And I've still to set my buttons up on Fernbus properly. But like I say, once I finish the Southeastern tour, I will be doing a complete beginner's guide, a complete setup guide. And I just keep thinking in my head, that's when I'll set all my buttons up, is when I'm making that video. Just seems to make more sense. So until then, I won't. But anyway, so yeah, OMSI having this new... Thought maybe there was some lights coming up there. Let's get inside. So OMSI having this new business element has really transformed the game, and interest in the game has really peaked because of it as well, which is brilliant. And as brilliant as I think that is, and all the problems that come with OMSI, all I can think about when I'm playing that is how epic is Fernbus going to be when it gets that business element involved, especially if you get a multiplayer-esque type environment going as well. That is just going to be sensational, absolutely mind-blowing, and I cannot wait for that to happen. I'd love to start a company on Fernbus and set the routes up and hire the buses out to you guys and pay you wages and have you get promoted and do training, and yeah, epic. Mechanical failures on the buses and having to have them towed back and keep them clean and keep them maintained, and all those kinds of realistic elements that are not yet in the game but are at some point, when, hopefully going to come. Now I say hopefully, some of those elements I know are coming definitively. Some of those elements I hope are coming, but you can almost wrap that up in a parcel, sit on it for a year and come back and look at this game again, and you'll see, how cool is that? You'll see that all of those features are coming, have arrived, or are due to arrive for this game. So I'm still excited about that. Now it's a long way off, and all the improvements and enhancements that have come to Fernbus recently have reinvigorated people's interest in the game, which is fantastic, and a lot of new players have joined, which is why I'm going to be making the beginner's guide to setting up Fernbus for the very first time, because the button configuration is a little bit confusing, and depending on which wheel you're using, there are some hoops that occasionally you will need to jump through in order to get the best experience. So yeah, and even for guys like me, it's going to benefit me as well, because at some point I'm going to need to look at my own video in order to set my system up. I just know it's going to happen. It's not a big deal, so we're happy to do that. See, now this petrol station has an in and an out. See that? A bit of drop curb, so it's still part of the road. So Efurt is a bit buggy, but thankfully, now that I have access to the map tools, I can start making a list of all these little issues and actually just go and fix them. I don't have to wait for TML to be able to find the time and the manpower to do it. I can actually go in and contribute and work on it myself. Hello, logo. So anyway, that was a bit of a chitty chatty drive, really, that one, wasn't it? I think I've stopped for breath. I certainly haven't taken a drink. So yeah, there's going to be a slight change to the channel. In last week's Fernbus episode, I did mention that although subscribers are increasing consistently, we're nearly at 4,000 subs, which is amazing. But in all fairness, those subs are here for many different reasons, and one of the things I wanted to do with Sim UK is not just be a one-trick pony. Like, there are a lot of channels that just do aviation, or just do motorbikes, or just do driving. Well, Sim UK does everything, and I think, honestly, I was one of the first people to really do that. I mean, you've got YouTube channels like Squirrel, who obviously do a variation of things, but they do kind of predominantly have trucking and trains and aviation there, whereas I try and incorporate as many different things as I can into the channel, just to keep things fresh and interesting for you guys. So although subscribers are going up, and I'm thankful to all of you for whatever reason that you've subscribed to Sim UK, and I hope that you're enjoying the content still, the views on videos have kind of subdued a bit. Now, that might be because of the quality of the videos that I'm producing is not as good as it should be, and I can make all sorts of excuses and reasons for why that might be, but at the end of the day, it's my job to do something about it. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to stagger like videos. So for example, Fernbus and OMSI are, although very different, they're quite similar. They're both sort of coach based, and my thinking at the moment is I'm going to do one week and the other week. So there'll be a Fernbus video every fortnight, and there'll be an OMSI video every fortnight, and we'll see how we go with that. I mean, it might get to the point where we need to expand out and have an additional Sim UK channel specifically for coaches. I don't know. We'll see where things go. And I just crashed. I just bloody crashed. Well, I didn't. I hit the curb, but what a drive. Okay, so are we on time? 16:55, and we're due to be here 17:16, so we're a good 15 minutes ahead of schedule. I think that's a job well done right there. So all that is left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you on board today. I hope you've enjoyed the drive. It's been eventful. There's been hopefully informative discussion, and if you have any comments, anything you'd like to share with me, any advice, any tips, any criticism of my skills and capabilities, then just let me know in the comment section, and I'll be glad to get back to you just as soon as I can. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Until then, goodbye.